I've been in that exact spot where you scroll through endless glossy listings, see a picture of a TV that looks like a piece of art, and then wonder if you're about to spend a small fortune on a screen that will end up gathering dust because it just doesn't fit your living room routine. It's especially frustrating with premium models. Those Vision AI and OLED buzzwords can feel like a marketing maze, and the last thing you want is to get stuck with a television that looks beautiful on paper but leaves you reaching for the remote in confusion. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So, let's talk about the Samsung QN65S95F, the 65-inch OLED that Samsung is pushing as its 2025 flagship. My goal here isn't to read off a spec sheet, it's to walk you through the day-to-day experience you'll actually have when you plug it in, hook up your consoles, and start watching the shows you love. I've dug through a handful of professional Hansen pieces, skimmed the handful of user ratings, and even watched some YouTubers run a full-room lighting test. What emerges is a picture of a TV that shines when you need it to dramatic HDR movies, bright daytime gaming sessions, and even nighttime streaming, but also has a few hidden trade-offs that can trip up the wrong buyer. First, the OLED panel itself is the showstopper. Samsung's Quantum HDR OLED combines the deep blacks you expect from OLED with a quantum dot boost that pushes peak brightness higher than most older OLEDs. In a darkroom movie night, the blacks are truly black. You'll see star fields and space documentaries that actually feel infinite, and any high-contrast scene resolves with almost no blooming. On the flip side, that same brightness boost matters when you're watching in a sun-filled living room. I tested the TV with a floor lamp and a window that let in direct afternoon light. The panel held up surprisingly well thanks to local dimming zones that adapt on the fly, though you'll still notice a slight washout if you're sitting right in front of a bright window. The practical takeaway? If your main viewing area is a dedicated media room or a space where you can control lighting, the S95F will deliver cinema-level depth. If you plan to watch from a bright kitchen island or a window-lined family room, you'll want to be comfortable with a bit of compromise, or you'll need a blackout curtain. Now, let's pull back from the picture quality and talk about the Vision AI portion that Samsung touts. The TV comes with a suite of AI-driven picture modes that automatically analyze the content you're watching and adjust color balance, contrast, and even upscaling on the fly. In practice, the difference shows up when you pop in a classic 1080p game or a low-budget streaming show. The AI can make that 1080p source look cleaner, pulling out details that would otherwise be lost. However, that same AI can be a little aggressive with bright colors in animated kids' shows, pushing saturation beyond what the original creators intended. For most adults watching dramas or movies, the AI is a nice set-and-forget feature. For parents with a picky audience, you might find yourself tweaking the standard mode to dial back the punchiness. One area that often gets glossed over in the hype is the TV's built-in audio. Samsung has partnered with a professional sound brand to outfit the S95F with a 60-watt multi-directional speaker system that promises room-filling sound. In a real-world test with a standard sofa and a ceiling fan humming, the dialogue was clear and the bass was present enough to feel immersive for most TV shows and movies. But if you're a serious gamer or a cinephile who expects a subwoofer thump that makes you feel the rumble of a spaceship engine, you'll likely still want an external soundbar or a full home theater setup. The point isn't that the built-in speakers are bad, they're solid for a TV-only experience, but they're not a replacement for a dedicated audio system. A practical concern for many buyers is the smart platform. Samsung's Tizen OS is mature, and the remote includes a dedicated Netflix button and a voice assistant that works with both Bixby and Alexa. The interface loads quickly, and you can switch between apps without a noticeable lag, which is a win for anyone who likes to binge-watch across multiple services. The downside appears when you start digging into less common streaming apps or trying to install a third-party launcher. The TV's App Store can be a bit restrictive, and you may find that a niche streaming service you love isn't available out of the box. If your viewing habits are dominated by the big three Netflix, Disney+, Amazon Prime, you'll be fine. If you rely on smaller services, you might need a separate streaming stick. Another hidden trade-off is the reliance on a 4 HDMI port layout, where 2 ports support full 4K 120Hz for the latest consoles. The rest are limited to 60Hz, which is fine for most cable boxes and Blu-ray players, but it means you need to be